Welcome in, ladies and gentlemen, to Lycanthrope Field, where the 2-7 Los Angeles Lycans are going to be facing the 5-5 Detroit Maulers. I'm DJ Kilgannon. I'll be your play-by-play broadcaster for the evening. Join with me is Jesse Fretz, my analyst for the evening. Our statisticians are Ron Haynes and Stephen Hacker, and of course Cameron Irvine is doing his thing back at SFL HQ. LA has faced one of the hardest schedules in the entirety of the league, and now another game is faced for them with a 500 team at the helm. Jesse, how do you think this one's going to play out?
Let me tell you, I think this game could be a lot more than we expect it to be. I talked to head coach and ownership member Sully Richardson of LA, and he said the key to winning is good, smart football, limit mistakes, and get positive yards. When I talked to Detroit free safety Chris Delro, he said LA is better than their record, and their coaches have been putting in the work. And I love what he says next. He says they're ready to show LA what it means to fight feral and what Mauler football is all about. So I'm feeling this is going to be a fun one here Sunday night on the Virtual Football Network.
I love it, my friend. The Maulers versus the Lycans, a battle of beasts as we kick off this beautiful, cool LA night. And looks like LA will start with the football.
LA ball first.
Of course, you have the ever infamous LA Lycan looming over the field here at Lycanthrope Field. As Sully Richardson is going to go under center. Split back look for him against a 4-3 set for Detroit. Delayed play action up the middle. Finds an open corner route, but that one is going to be hit away from the defensive back. That's incomplete.
Yeah, it looked like it was going to be Hartshorn on the coverage. He just knocks it right out of his clutches as soon as it gets in. You know, and that's going to, the energy right now that I'm feeling from this crowd, I feel like we're going to have a very wide open and fun football game.
Definitely could see that happening. Another split back look here for Sully in these very snazzy blue uniforms. I like them a lot here for LA.
Me too.
Have a motioning receiver there. Cornerback does follow. Handoff right up the middle, gets shot down for only a yard gain. Let's talk about the defense making that stop. The defensive linemen Selwyn Lane, Ace Blackwell, and Nick Brummer, and Bear Winters up front. Tazzy Blackwell, Brogan Spraw, Eel Fields the fourth. Greg Ward, your linebackers. Monte Wyatt, Eaton Moss, Ryan Yosef, going to be your safeties. We'll get to the rest. Or no, excuse me. That's LA's defense. I lied to you, and a huge deflection made. Real quick, we'll give credit to the actual defense that made those plays. Thomas Matthews, Frodo Laggins, Sean Parent, and Robert Cherry, the defensive line for Detroit. Kenneth Gaston Jr., Casper Haddock, Matthias Citrion, your linebackers. J.W. Hartshorn, King Rashid, Rick Evans. The corners, Chris Delro, Ram Narsudi, Jubilee Marsher, safeties, Scylla Aldmere, and Millen Tales, your special teams unit. My apologies for that mix-up. That's the team that gets your credit for the stop there, as LA is forced to punt after a very spotty first drive there, Jesse.
Yeah, and LA finds itself to be in the top 10 in a pretty dubious stat, which is third down conversion attempts. So they find themselves in that third down and have to have it spot a lot. So LA has to find a way to not put themselves in third down so much against this Detroit Maulers defense.
Completely agree with you there, friend. Gonna have an offset eye look here for Ethan Flowers. He'll survey his defense and call for some motion. That's Rob Hunt making his way to the bottom side of your screen. Flowers, 5-step drop, shoots it to the left side, and it's caught between two defenders. That's a first down.
Good pass right in the over and the under. Just a nice flowing, beautiful rainbow of a parabola to CJ Paris here. The offensive line picks up the blitz beautifully, and there's only one place to really put that football. And Ethan Flowers just floats it in there perfectly. Great job.
It looked like it was trying to develop a corner route, but he saw an opening and certainly took it. Of course, the aforementioned Sean Parent playing center here for the Maulers. Ethan Flowers will be under center. Looks like stretch run to the left side. A little bit of space. Going to be a 5-yard gain there for Andrew Gibson. Let's talk about this offense for Detroit. Ethan Flowers, your quarterback. Andrew Gibson, Joel Harleman, your halfbacks. Terrell Sutherland, your fullback. Rob Hunt, Jimmy Wint, CJ Parrish, your receivers. Gordon Khan and Robert Henson Jr. are your tight ends. Portia Henson, Hadrian Marlowe, Jimmy Hayes, Jack Big Boss, and of course Sean Parent. play offensive line for you. Run here to the left-hand side again. Joel Harleman gets wrangled down after a gain of 3.
Yeah, and that shouldn't have gone any further than it did. It looked like it was going to be stopped dead at the line of scrimmage. It was a pocket for the ball carrier to work through, but he just couldn't make any more than he did.
Detroit looking very comfortable in this offset eye so far. Los Angeles 4-3, the drop back and pass coverage. It doesn't matter. They connect over the middle. That's Gordel Khan going up and making the catch in contact.
It doesn't matter when you're Gordel Khan, 6'7", 290 pounds, second season for the Detroit Natural. And he knows that he's going to get all of the shoulder of the defender there, all of the shoulder, and he just absolutely comes down with it and still makes the catch.
Yeah, fantastic concentration to pull that one in. Looks like a nickel look here for LA as Ethan surveys the defense. Has 2 backs in the backfield to roll out to the right. Some nice blocking. Gives him enough time to complete it over the middle. C.J. Parrish is the target, and that's a quick score for Detroit.
Ethan Flowers with the nice rollout, and C.J. Flowers with another catch. And sometimes it's easy because you actually do it right and it looks easy. Look at this inside seam here. You can't get more wide open in the end zone than that. Plenty of time, plenty of patience. I mean, come on. They just handed it to him on that one. Very, very easy open drive for the Detroit Maulers.
Great teamwork there, a great throw, a great route. C.J. Parrish had plenty of separation, and the extra point is good. Still, Aldmere been great on the season up to this point, and another successful start of a game for Detroit.
And that didn't take long at all. 5 plays, 54 yards. And, you know, 2 runs, they didn't look like they got a lot, but that's on paper. They set up those really deep passes. Detroit played a great Detroit. You know what? I'm just going to say it was really, really good. I liked watching it.
Absolutely. Went from a very bad drive to a very successful drive here. Now we will welcome the LA offense back onto the field. Quarterback, the aforementioned Sully Richardson. Our halfbacks, Darius Iniguez, Ace Ketchum. Fullbacks, Tom Thickey and Dan Curtis. Your receivers, Bubba Tree, Joseph Bodette, LZ Pryor and Chris Lee, your receivers. Some motion there, single back offset for LA. Going to be a handoff right up the middle. So much room to run for Darius Iniguez. A first down off of the handoff. The rest of this offense for LA, Adam Grabowski, your tight end, Jack Flash, the other, Orrin Wilds and Bob Witoska, your tackles, Damian Robichaud, Hunter Witoska, your guards, Altus Wilds is your center.
That's what you want to do. You want to get them whenever you can. You know, on paper for the season, they don't lead in a lot of stat categories, but make those plays happen.
A lot of motion here coming from both offenses. That's the fullback, Dan Curtis, going to the weak side of the line. 2-step drop. Sully gets hit and still gets the throw off. Wow, great composure in the pocket. Still able to connect with LZ Pryor for an 8-yard gain.
How did Richardson do that? That defensive lineman was ready to just barrel into him. He looked like he was dead to rights. And he still got his footing and managed to make a great catch to LZ Pryor. One great player to another this season.
Absolutely, and they attempt to run. Gets completely shut down by the defense of Detroit. And it's going to be 3rd and short now.
You know, 1 step forward, 2 steps back, especially with Casper Haddock lurking back there.
Very heavy set box here for Detroit. I form now for Sully. Maybe a handoff up the gut again. Darius Iniguez trying to fight through the blockers, but gets brought down 1 yard short of the line of scrimmage. Matthias Citrion involved in the play.
This is medieval warfare. You've got 7 up front. You've got 7 in the box. It's going to be a matter of which set of ogres can push harder. And that time, Detroit ended up being the advantage player on that one.
Absolutely. Kick return doesn't gain much. LA has to punt. Detroit's defense doing what they've done all season long, applying good pressure, stopping the run very well. Sully's defense now takes the field. Selwyn Lane, Ace Blackwell, Nick Brummer, Bear Winners, your defensive line. Tazi Blackwell, Brogan Sprawl, Earl Fields the fourth. Greg Ward, your linebackers. Devontae Moore, Mike Scott, Anthony Wyo, your corners. Monte Wyatt, Eaton Moss, Ryan Yosef, your safeties. Have some more motion for Detroit. That's Rob Hunt, making it 2 to the bottom side of your screen, but it's going to be a handoff up the middle. A gain of 2 before Terrell Sutherland is brought down.
And this is what Los Angeles is going to have to do here. They're going to have to limit them to short runs. But as we saw in the last drive, short runs gave way to deep passes. This is where their coverage players are going to have to really step up and show that they can lock them down.
Again, Rob Hunt getting kicked to the other side of the field. We have an offset I formation here for Flowers. Going to be a handoff to that right-hand side. Some great blocking, but Andrew Gibson only able to make it 3rd and 6 after a tough tackle.
And Tazi Blackwell, she just picked him up. She literally picked him up and carried him backwards. What a powerful and great tackle. Look at that, 126 tackles last season. She's an absolute force back there at the linebacker spot.
Little pass here for Flowers, and that's picked off! It's taken the other way by Los Angeles. That's Devontae Moore, his first interception of the season.
You know, it's hard to take the sack when you're paranoid and you can feel those demons on the back of your neck, but he breaks off the coverage. Bad throw, too far underneath. And the Los Angeles defender, Devontae Moore, the 5-season LA natural, comes up with a huge turnover to put LA back in this football game with great field position.
Huge play for LA to get the ball back in very good field position inside the 40 already. Sully will throw. Oh, the catch almost made, but a tough hit there for one of the Detroit faithful. That's Jubilee Marsh over the middle to be able to break that one up.
You know, and there's an old saying, and I get it. If it hits your hands, you got to catch it. But when you get hit and you get trucked like that, as a quarterback, you got to find receivers that can get a step to establish that possession and actually be able to bring it in.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. See another offset I formation here. Sully will again throw. Time in the pocket to connect over the middle. Wide open target. That's LZ Pryor again pulling in a big play.
And a really great pickup on the blitz there for Pryor to get the second incompletion of the game. And look at this cut inside. He swoops in, and the blitz pickup makes it all possible for him to find that space in the middle and gain an additional 5 yards, put them right on the end zone here.
Sully again under center. Another offset look here for LA. 2 receivers to the top of your screen. We see some motion from this Detroit linebacking core. Sully's going to survey. And hand it off right up the middle. Not a whole lot of room to run. That's a gain of nothing.
And a really good play there to come off the outside edge and come back by Jubilee Marsh. You know, the time spent on this team has just been 1 season. That's why they brought him in, to be able to get that run support. And he shows why he's a great addition to this team here.
Jubilee again dropping back. Looks like LA very happy throwing that one, nearly picked off. Detroit nearly making a huge play at the goal line. That was Matthias Citrion, the coverage linebacker.
Matthias Citrion, look at the way he moves back there. He moves like a true coverage linebacker. He's a lot faster and more mobile than his frame should suggest, and that could have been extremely dangerous for Sully Richardson.
Yeah, certainly looked scary in the moment. Got lucky that one wasn't pulled in by a very athletic linebacker. Looks like we'll have quads here for LA against the dime look of Detroit. Sully, 5-step drop. Has enough time, fires over the middle, it's caught! Just past the goal line. It's going to be Sully's first of the day, and that's Chris Lee.
Now, if you break this play down from start to finish, frame by frame, it should not have worked as well as it did. It picked up the blitz, but the pressure comes in by the linebacker. There's tight coverage. Nothing about it really should work, but man, it's just the focus on the receiver to haul that in for C.J. Parrish. Great job with his first touchdown of the game. And now LA is an extra point away from tying it and capitalizing on that turnover.
Yeah, and that's one thing you're going to have to do in this game if you get them, is capitalize off those turnovers. Both offenses now having 58 total yards as the all-star caliber receiver Chris Lee adds another touchdown to his already impressive resume. Was already in the top 5 and tends to stay in it. Picks up and away for LA. As Detroit hoping to shake off the turnover of previous. Rob Hunt gets brought down to the 28. As, you know, like I said, Ethan Flowers needs to shake his mind off.
He does. You know, an interesting little trivia fact so far about today's game. Both the Detroit and Los Angeles receptions have been touchdown receptions from inside the red zone.
Very true, and we're going to see Detroit again in this all too familiar look. Again, motioning Hunt. He's getting his steps in tonight. LA again in a nickel look. And turns away. Flowers. Oh, another risky throw. Thankfully for this offense, that one's going to fall to the turf unharmed.
Absolutely 10-4 on that one. You know, it could have been a lot worse, but luckily it fell innocently to the turf.
Ryan Yosef involved on that play to get the pass deflection. It's been very solid for Detroit, or for LA, excuse me. Great in the run game. Ethan Flowers, though, going to have to live with him tonight. He connects over the middle, and he has room. Nothing but green grass. Makes a spin as they finally catch up to him. And a huge gain for the Magician and the Maulers offense.
Let me tell you, I don't know if you were watching the ref, too. He was trying to get out of the way just as fast. Man, that play right there, good old Jimmy Wint. He was just barreling his way down the field. Look at the ref here, like, I gotta get out of the way here. Yeah, he's in his office, but Jimmy Wint kicked the door in and started running with a football, and a whole bunch of LA defenders were chasing him, and it was a madness. But then again, hey, when you're refereeing the SFL, that's what they pay you for.
Absolutely is. Jimmy Wint, the longest reception of his season, the longest reception of any receiver up to this point for Detroit. Harleman going to get the handoff there and a gain of 3 before he's brought down.
Absolutely. Just try to keep the ball moving forward. Just keep good forward progress. That's what you're looking to do here, man. Just keep it simple. And now Detroit's back in the red zone again. This red zone battle continues.
It sure does, as they still continue to throw. Flowers finds Robert Henson Jr. over the middle. He says, who needs 2 hands when you got one? Big O Mitt pulls that one in successfully for a first down.
Let me tell you, you love the big body tight ends. You know, they just make your job a whole lot easier, especially when they got big fullback frames too. 6'7". You know, he's a little bit on the shorter side and a little bit on the more compact side, but then again, 6'4", 240. That's really not that short, now is it?
Certainly not. Looks like Detroit is intent with running the ball here. A heavy set, they won't. Baited everyone, including me. That one, a gain of a few. It's Jimmy Wint again who's able to pull that in through contact.
Jimmy Wint drops it inside, and once it drops down by Flowers, he just kind of reaches down and grabs it. You know, not a lot of players have that kind of athleticism.
Certainly not. It's a very heavy set look for both squads. It's a run, and Gibson dives in for the touchdown. Make it a 9-touchdown campaign for the all-star caliber halfback Andrew Gibson. Huge day for this Detroit offense so far.
Yeah, he really is. Andrew Gibson is just on another level right now. You can make that 9 touchdowns on the season. That's going to bunny hop him a couple of points, most likely the 3rd in the league. Man, he is just really on fire here. And not only that, he's also a workhorse back. He had 193 carries going into this ball game.
Yeah, best for 2nd in the league, most carries as a team overall. 2nd most rushing yards as a team. And not to mention, Gibson also has 2 receiving touchdowns. That's 11 all-purpose touchdowns for the former Classic.
Absolutely. Very quick correction. That was Chris Lee with the Los Angeles reception touchdown.
This one boomed away. Check her for PEDs as that kick is boomed through the atmosphere. Falls way deep in the LA End zone, they'll kneel it, come out to the 20. LA hoping to keep up with this Detroit offense, excuse me.
This really has felt like a fast-paced game.
It sure has. I mean, already 21 points in the quarter, hasn't even subsided. It'll be a handoff. It's going to be a 2-yard gain off of a very rough hit.
Kenneth Gaston Jr. just realized he's going to go down with the ship, so he just puts his hooks into him and brings it down with him. It still hurts. Sometimes the hammer hurts as much as the nail.
Absolutely does. Proving that point there. I form here for LA. We'll see some movement in the receiving core. Our defensive back kicks his way out to meet him down at the bottom of your screen. Hand off to that left-hand side. Breaks a tackle. And going to be a 3-yard gain, making it 3rd and manageable now.
You know, a lot of people look at that and say, why didn't you just cut it a little further to the outside? Sometimes with the momentum and the way things are moving, you just have to put your shoulder down and take what shows up. And that was still a very good gain in that instance.
Just a dropping back again, connects over the middle. This passing party continues for both of these squads tonight. As Sully Richardson completes another beautiful pass over the middle.
Good old Bubba Tree. The 4-season LA Natural, 6'5", 225. That's the beauty of these receivers. They're big and they're strong, and they can definitely compete in what has shown to be a very physical football game so far.
Absolutely. Nickel look here for Detroit, and the split back turns into a handoff up the middle. A gain of 8. Very nice holes to run through for Darius Iniguez.
Indeed.
That will be your first quarter, ladies and gentlemen. 14-7, Detroit holds a touchdown lead. Don't go anywhere. We'll be back with you shortly. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to Lycanthrope Field. I'm DJ Kilgannon, joined in the booth. With me is Jesse Fretz, Cameron Irvine back at SFL HQ, making all of this possible. Ron Haynes and Stephen Hacker making us seem smart up here in the booth. We'll kick a tight end to the other side of the formation as a heavy look here from both squads. Results in a run up the middle, and Darius Iniguez fights off a few. He pushes past not only the first down marker, but the midfield mark.
And a crucial tackle on that play, because if it had not been made, I think it was Marquise Citrion who made it, he would have been off to the races.
Another split back look here for LA, but they kick one of their fullbacks out. That's Dan Curtis, but a result is still a run up the middle. Ace Ketchum rolls over Citrion and gains 7 in the process.
You know, it's easy to forget about Ace Ketchum with the misfortunes that LA has been having this season, but he is really one of their better backs, and a physical back, as he just showed on that play right there.
Absolutely, a very solid 1-2 punch in LA. And another run. They're showing they know it. That one gonna be a loss. A huge play there made by Casper Haddock.
Yeah, Casper Haddock hits him again. And sometimes when you have these zone reads, the hole is there and you hit it. And this game just happens so fast. These SFL athletes are the best at what they do. And they're so quick. And what you thought was there, suddenly the tunnel closes.
Sure does. I form here for LA, results in a pass. Sully trying to find someone downfield and does so. A huge play to push LA past the 25. And another huge completion for that duo, Sully Richardson to Chris Lee.
Well, this line tucks completely inside, and they decide to go teeth to teeth, but look at how this offensive line picks up this blitz, and then the receiver gets ahead of them. Chris Lee, once again, with another huge reception for the 10-season LA Natural and 2-time All-Star.
Sean Parent was in the backfield trying to hunt down Richardson, to no avail. As we will see some motion from LA once again, trying to read this defense of Detroit. LZ Pryor's the one in motion, breaks off a sack, and oh my goodness, worst case scenario, you should have just fell down and taken the sack, and it would have stayed out of the hands of Chris Delroe.
I think the intended receiver there was Darkus Iniguez. Something happened there. I could be wrong on the receiver there, but when the receiver got taken out of the play, it just ended up falling into the hands of the defender. And sometimes it just happens. You hate when it does, but I think your analysis there really was correct. You got to take the sack in that play.
Yeah, he tried to throw it so quickly after getting hammered by a defender that throw is just not going to be on the mark. We'll see a run here by Gibson. Fights through, gaining 6.
Good run by Gibson. Sometimes when you run with the football, you just try, you're going to get maybe 5, maybe 6. But you can do that by negotiating and navigating the waters. For 4.0 per carry and a score as well. Love that magic number.
I feel like we could see a very long drive here for Detroit. They will run again. Gibson finding space. Doesn't get touched until he's well past that first down marker.
Just keep doing it. Run it inside, run it outside. Just keep running it, because when you do that, you force them to play these 4-3-4 defenses, and that gives you the opportunity to go hat on hat and creates mismatches as well.
Oh, and it's a fumble. Oh, my goodness. The hit to the blind side of Ethan Flowers causes a fumble. But you better get Terrell Sutherland a cookie cake, some ice cream after the game, because he just saved you what would have been points the other way.
He really did, and Greg Ward hit him like a truckload of bad news. 6 foot and 230, that's a missile. And he had no idea. He never saw it coming.
Flowers try to find space and does so, connecting over the middle again. It's Rob Hunt who got well open on his route.
And that is so demoralizing for a defense, right? You get the ball on the ground, they happen to fall on it, and then suddenly here comes this big play here that's going to get about 20, 25 yards, bring them closer to your midfield. Man, but on the other side of the ball, the duality of humankind, right? The duality of football, that's a motivator for the Detroit Maulers.
Yeah, it sure is, and certainly bounced back well. We'll see another run. Gibson breaking off a tackle. Finds some room to run. Another first down from him. Jesse, I'll tell you what, he is a very shifty and quick back. Used to be a receiver back in his day and was a return specialist. He certainly knows about finding holes and coverages and hitting them fast.
Well, let me tell you, when you're scrappy and when you're tough, you can teach him to do nearly anything with the football. And Gibson shows it there with another 12-yard gain. And I say keep this tempo going.
Absolutely, I completely agree with you there. They've taken about 2 and some change off the clock now. Another run will come for Detroit. Harleman finds some space, 3-yard gain, and the clock continues to chew.
Yeah, and they just keep hitting them. Like we always tell people when you run the football, if you get hit at the line of scrimmage, right, push and churn, get 2 more, get 3 more. That's demoralizing for a defense. That's the stuff that really ticks them off.
Motion here for Flowers as Gibson gets the ball and gets brought down right at about the line of scrimmage. No success there.
Well, they came off the clip, and that's going to happen. You can't run for 10 yards every single time. This is the SFL. But if you keep running it, you stay committed to the run game, you're going to stay on that magic number.
Trips here for Flowers, wants to throw. Moving around in the pocket is the magician. No magic out of his hat that play, because all it finds is the hands of an LA Lichen, but thankfully for them falls incomplete.
And Devontae Moore was about to show everybody that the Wizard was just a guy behind the curtain. He nearly got his hands on that and brought it down.
We will have to be forced into a punt now. Detroit hoping to pin them deep in LA's own territory. The ball will hit at about the 21, and a very nice roll for the Maulers. Will get pinned down at about, we'll call it the 13.
Mylan Thiales. I've always said that punters are the truly elite athletes in the SFL.
Yeah, great punt there. Doing her job for sure.
Sure.
Offset eye here for LA. Open to just get a well-sustained drive here as this quarter's about halfway through. Run to the left-hand side, and Iguez bounces it back in. A gain of 3 before he's pulled down.
Yeah, with 4:38 here, what you want to establish when you're Sully Richardson is that you just want to let them know that, okay, hey, I threw a pick. All right, I threw it. All right, it was me, it was us. But, hey, we're here, we're back. Let's score one before the half.
Oh, my goodness, a devastating hit on Chris Lee. That one falls incomplete, and a replay of the down and distance, or the replay of the distance, the down and is now third.
You know, sometimes violence is the answer. You just got to try to stay close and hit them with everything you got the moment the ball shows up.
Good way to play the game, that's for sure. Dime look here for Detroit, as LA will turn quads into trips. No one follows, showing it's probably going to be a zone look here for Detroit. LA hoping to take advantage of it. Sully surveys, plenty of time to throw the football, throws it over the middle, and it's complete. A very long developed route will be the death of Detroit on that play. LZ Pryor, the one pulling it in.
Another great catch by Pryor. That's going to be the third reception. And I love watching great offensive lines when they do something great. And that offensive line right there picked up that blitz beautifully and gave more than enough time for Sully Richardson to make a beautiful throw into that zone coverage. You said zone look. That was a zone look.
Something that is certainly helpful when you have as much motion as they do in their book, clearly. Pryor, the one in motion this time. A defender will follow. Handoff up the middle is going to be brought down. 2-yard gain.
Yeah, that's a common theme here. You grab the football, you try to run up the middle, and then you get hit really hard by Matthias Citrion. Rinse and repeat. It'll happen again, and that's okay.
Yeah, a little too sour for their liking, if you will. There's a 4-3 look here for Detroit. You see some motion from one of the linebackers matching that motion man to the top of your screen. Sully surveys, drops back. Enough time, fires it to the corner route to that left side of the formation. Chris Lee again converting a big catch.
There is just times where as a quarterback you are in a groove. The tempo is right, everything is good, and you just start dancing in the living room, and that's what's happening here. These receivers are getting wide open, and they are finding spaces in the zone. Just a great job by this Lycan offense right now.
Yeah, Chris Lee and LZ Pryor leading the charge as receivers go for LA. Sully pretty successful after an early struggle. Gonna hand this one off, and Darius Iniguez is smashed into after a gain of 2.
Well, that's not entirely bad because you've got 2 more plays to get the next 8 yards. So maybe you can flirt with the line in the front and the line in the back, but make sure you get something good to happen here, especially with Pryor and Lee combining so far for 100 yards receiving.
Another heavy look here for Detroit. 7 in the box. Sully will drop back. Pressure's brought, but too much contact results in an incompletion.
I'm guessing they got away with the contact because it was within 5 yards, so there was a lot more than patty cake going on there. I mean, I thought there was going to be a flag, but, you know, they don't pay me to do that, so the ref says play on.
It looked like they were slow dancing, but I think you're right. Within the 5, I think they'll get away with it. Sully, 7-step drop, enough time. Oh, a jumping defender misses, and then tries to sack, and it's dropped. Oh, my goodness, such a whirlwind. You had the attempted bat, the missed sack, and then a missed pick. Jubilee Marsh is going to be thinking about that one tomorrow.
Well, it looked like that Sully Richardson had to get caught up here. Richardson was going to get sacked by Thomas Matthews, and then he throws the ball, and Devontae Moore juggled one football like you see somebody juggling bowling pins at the circus.
Oh, speaking of juggling. Ladies and gentlemen, like this video. I'll say it one more time. Like the video. Please support our hard-working crew by smashing the like button, subscribing, and commenting on the video. It helps the channel out a lot. Turn notifications on so you'll never miss a live stream. Highlighter podcast. Thanks for the support of the Virtual Football Network and the SFL. As we hit the 2-minute warning, I'm DJ Kilgannon. Joined with me in the booth is Jesse Fretz, Cam Irvine doing his thing back at HQ. Ron Haynes and Stephen Hacker keeping stats up to perfection. As Detroit motioning, sending one out to the bottom side of the screen there. That's CJ Parrish. Flowers fires it to the right side of the formation, and that's caught for a first down. Rob Hunt, another big catch.
It looked like Mike Scott was going to get it and house call it, but I must have had the wrong angle from the box. Beautiful pass inside to Rob Hunt. And so far, Detroit is doing a good job at moving the football here. They're finding their receivers. The stats are not truly revealing just how accurate Detroit is when they make those passes. Ethan Flowers so far is 8 for 11.
We've been firing on all cylinders for sure. Jimmy Wint will move to the top, making him the sole receiver that way. Offset I formation here for Detroit results in a handoff to the outside, but Andrew Gibson gets blown up after a gain of a yard.
Yeah, and the plan was to block it through the middle, but Renard Snooty just comes right off the block. The two-season naturals so far doing a great job back there.
I form look here. Flowers drops back and gets sandwiched by two Likens. That's the likes of Nick Brummer involved on the play. Another one, TBD by the replay. We'll get a better look.
Jesse Blackwell sets the tone with the previous play, and then in comes Nick Brummer. All 6'4", 325 of them. That double wide refrigerator's got wheels.
Sure does. That was Selwyn Wayne on cleanup duty, helping him finish the sack. A very nice sack of the QB there for Los Angeles, their second of the day. Quads look here for Flowers in the pocket. Pressure's there, but he does connect over the middle. Jimmy Wynn able to pull that, or Rob Hunt, able to pull that one in. Fourth down, though, and it looks like Detroit, I'd imagine they'll just hold this and then just let it tick away and then go into the half. Don't see why you punt it unless the time's running out. And they will do that. They will let the time tick away. They're happy with their lead. They don't want LA to have a chance for anything crazy. Detroit, 14-7 as they go into the half. The favorite of the ball game, and after what has been a solid offensive performance from both squads, apart from a few slip-ups here and there, results in a touchdown ball game. Come halftime, Jesse, let me hear your thoughts.
Let me tell you, so far this game, it looks like a mirror between these two. You have the trade-off of interceptions. Yes, Detroit is definitely ahead by a score here, but the second quarter was kind of really a game of like push and pull. But the wildest part about this is that for a back-and-forth football game, this feels like tennis, like table tennis. They're knocking this ball back and forth all over the place, here, there, and everywhere. And we're also being treated to an absolutely beautiful show of just individual performance, especially by these wide receivers. Chris Lee's got a score already, 68 yards. Pryor, 47. Jimmy Wentz got 56. Rob Hunt's got 53 on the opposite side of the ball. Gibson's running well. Larissa Niguez is running well. So it looks like it's going to be a matter of who can capitalize on the further mistakes that can be created by these defenses from here on out, because these defenses, they've come to play.
That they have, as the kick booms away and will be brought out of the end zone by Rob Hunt. It's wrangled down at about the 26-yard line. If you're just joining us, welcome in to Lycanthrope Field here in Los Angeles as the sun is starting to set. I'm DJ Kilgannon. In the booth with me is Jesse Fretz, my good friend and colleague.
A lycanthrope. I don't know what a lycanthrope is. I just know I wouldn't want to have it as a roommate.
Lycanthrope, as a huge D&D nerd, is actually, if I'm not mistaken, what the werewolf disease is called. That's like that. If you turn into a werewolf, you have lycanthropy. If I'm not mistaken. It could be hearsay, as we'll see. A run to Andrew Gibson will result in a 1-yard gain. Tackle made quickly past the line by Earl Fields.
Well, I do know the cure to lycanthropy. Yeah.
What's that?
That's liking this video. So make sure that you like, share, and subscribe the Virtual Football Network.
I like that.
It really is secure, actually.
If there is any werewolves watching, I might get a like. We'll see I form for the Magician as he's under center, connects with Gibson out in the flat, breaks a tackle, then tries to spin away from another 3rd and 5 now, and we have some answers here in the chat. Yeah, a lycanthrope is a werewolf. Lycanthropy is the disease? Is that what you call it? The curse?
Is lycanthropation?
It could be something. The
Robert
action.
Henson.
Who knows? Another eye form here. Flowers drops back, looking for one to find, and he doesn't. It's going to fall incomplete. A quick 3 and out, going to result in a punt now for Detroit.
Yeah, just instantly right out the gate. And this is the kind of thing that you want to see when you are the. I'm just going to say that was great. I just reading in the chat someone they're talking about dad jokes. I just couldn't, I got a job to do. Got to remind myself of that sometimes. It's a lot of fun.
It is. That's what we're all here for. And that's what he's here for. A big return for Bubba Tree. Digs his roots in and charges forward, bringing LA to the 44.
But Bubba Tree says, I got to get Jesse's head back in the game here.
Right. Bang.
That werewolf knocks him down right to the turf. Bubba Tree, all 6'5", 225 of them, stiff-armed into the core of the earth for a huge play to give Los Angeles a great start on offense.
Shout out to the punter, Millen Tails, saving what would have been a touchdown there for Bubba Tree. That's a devastating hit, I must say. Put her in at safety. A run up the middle will result in just a yard. As Detroit's defense, that's Jubilee Marsh getting involved there on the tackle.
Yeah, and so far, this is the time where LA has to really take advantage of this situation and tie up this football game. This is not going to be a football game, really, where field goals are the deciding factor. It sounds like they both want to find the end zone every time they have the football.
Yeah, certainly, it's who can keep up with the other the best, who can pull ahead just a little bit further. You see a run to the right side, it'll result in just a yard. As, again, Jubilee Marsh is involved on the tackle.
Well, you can break one tackle, but it's really hard to break 2 and then 3. The gang tackling of Detroit right now is really showing itself. I'm kind of thinking that what's going to happen is this is going to be one of those plays where it's not going to be base hits, but home runs at the side the winner.
Yeah, certainly so. As Sully's going to take off, finding some space. A couple spins results in a huge gain. That's the second best spin I've seen from a quarterback tonight.
Twist and shout. Look at that. Boom. There's another one. Swoop. Ah. And he's just swinging and dancing all over the place, man. Juking and jiving. And Sully is just really making it happen today. LA is saying, you know what? The playoff race, this is all about beating you. We're here to beat you. Come and get it.
Detroit in a very tough North Division, but LA certainly isn't going to go down easy as they're scraping the bottom of the West. And completion going to keep them ahead of the sticks very successfully.
Let me tell you, every time I see Pryor or Lee make a completion, it's just like drinking some hot cocoa on a cold day. It just feels so good. It's great to watch. Man, they really are something out there. This game so far has been a lot of fun.
That it has. See an offset eye here, and a handoff up the middle will be the result. Ace Ketchum gains 2 before he's brought down by the Mad Lemon.
Well, what you can say about the Mad Lemon is that Citrion, that's going to be his 6th tackle. And so far, he has completely owned that inside interior. When you take away, even if it's just an A-gap, that's a big thing.
It is. They'll go back to that spot. And again, Matthias Citrion is there. But the tackle is broken by Darius Aniga. He brings it to 3rd and short.
Right, and this is what's killing Detroit here because, they let him get 3 and they let him get 3. And when they get to 3 and 2 on paper, it doesn't sound like they're moving a lot, but they're giving up the big plays on these 3rd and 2 conversions.
We'll see another run up the middle. Ace Ketchum is going to gain the first down and a bit more. LA looking very well sustained in this drive.
Well, it's hard to stop an offense that has shown it can do it whatever it wants to do. If it can run and it can pass, you got to play them straight up, and they will find exploits doing it that way.
Yeah, absolutely. Sully will pass now that they're ahead of the sticks, and they'll call it a touchdown. LZ Pryor goes up, pulls it in for a huge play. Make it a touchdown for number 82.
That really is something, you know, and when I watch it come out here, right, so here's the play over the top.
Oh.
I'm really looking to see if he got, because I think a challenge flag may be coming out on that. Yep, there it is.
You're right. I mean, it'll save you the touchdown, but what really will it do at the end of the day? Maybe we'll have a huge stop on first and goal, but I think you're right. I think that'll get called back. Let's get another look.
Yeah. Well, as you know, at the end of the day, you can't, you know, give them 6 if you can just keep them on the 1, but that makes sense, right? You're going to give them the ball in the note card line. Let's see.
Yeah, and the Zebras on the field, they'll call it overturned. Looks like we'll have first and goal now from, I'd imagine, the inches or 1 yard mark. As LA, all they got to do is gain half a yard.
And good catch by Casper Haddock on that one. But here we go. Now it's first and goal, and now it's time to bring out the big dogs. It's time for the purest form of football. Here we go. First and a credit card.
Certainly inches here. I form Sully surveys. Heavy set for Detroit. It's a pass. And he breaks off a sack, but another one comes in. It's Sean Parent. Make it 15 on the season.
And Robert Cherry is the first guy to take a crack at Sully, but then Sean Parent comes in and cleans it up. The season 24 All-Stars. Great job of that defensive line doing what it's designed to do, which is stop the run.
Very interesting call, and the flat was open, but the defensive line got there just too fast. We'll see some motion here for Los Angeles. Another I-form look. They will run it this time, and Iguez makes it to the outside, breaks a tackle, fights off Chris Delro. That's 20 on 20 crime. Make it a tie ball game with the extra point.
I'm telling you, Darius Iguez right there with his 4th rushing touchdown of the season. He goes into the defender here, and this is just all about one party winning over the other. It's going to be who's going to win here, and if you're Delro, you got to make that tackle. But in the end, Darius Iguez won the arm wrestling match, and now we're an extra point away from being tied.
We'll see it. It's up, and it's good. It's 14 all. After a very, very well-sustained drive for the Lycans of Los Angeles. 10 plays to round it out. The longest drive of any squad tonight.
Well, you know, right now this game looks like kind of, you know, two world leaders eyeball to eyeball, right? Who's going to blink first, right? Who's going to make the big mistake?
And that's a mistake. I don't think it's the big one you're looking for. Just some clipping here. The barber out there in his pinstripes holds it on number 91 of Detroit. That'll be a few back. That is, who do we shame? That's Riddick Parker. Shame on you.
You know, and when you're Sully Richardson, this is the kind of thing that drives you crazy. And by Casper, well, I think Sully Richardson, somebody was affected by it. It was Casper. Okay, gotcha. This is the kind of thing that drives you crazy because special teams is often overlooked, but it's so crucial to a winning football program.
Yeah, absolutely. My form here was Houghton and Andrew Gibson run a gain of 3 as he's brought down. LA leads in total yards after they take the touchdown to tie up the ball game. Third quarter, rounding away, 4.5 or so to go.
Oh yeah, everything's been so even.
Absolutely has. In a mirror, like you said earlier, Harleman rolls over a defender. They call it 2nd and 7. I think that might be an injury on the field. It is. Let's see who's down. That's LA coming out. Number 90 for the defense. That's Nick Brummer, who had the sack earlier.
Yeah, it's always a next man up mentality, but it's always tough to lose a defensive tackle, especially when you've got a 4-3 setup, because you're going to lose either your 1 tech or your 3 tech. And that's going to leave you wide open, especially in a game right now where Detroit's wide receivers are just absolutely eating whatever is put on the table in front of them.
That and so many runs to the middle of the formation as well could proceed to be something to take note of. Flowers attacks the middle of the field, attempting to find the fullback, Terrell Sutherland, well downfield, and he isn't paid to catch the ball down on the fall incomplete.
Well, Flowers had a lot of time, but sometimes in the football business, you can get a little too much time. And he just said, okay, maybe that's the throw. I'll try to get in there. Just never materialized.
Absolutely. We'll see a punt again. Dylan Tails booms this one away.
Good punt.
Landing at the other 30 and a hard hit. That's Rick Evans the other way. And some slap hands, if you will, for the punter of Detroit.
Dylan Alice is really just absolutely locked in right now. That's another great punt.
Sully coming out after a great drive, hoping to keep momentum on his side. Split back here for the Lycans. That's 2 receivers to the top of your formation against a nickel look of Detroit. A run up the middle results in a Matthias Citrion tackle after a gain of 5.
You know, it's interesting. You look at both these quarterbacks. The last 10 attempts by Sully Richardson have been, you know, an interception and completing 6 out of those 10. But like I said, the scoreboard tells the entire story. And right now, LA's tied. Look at that.
Throw to the flats will result in a very nice first down. Like the quick passes to the big tight end. That's Jack Flash, who catches it at about the line and then fights through a tackle.
Well, that's what you want to see here, right? That physicality that turns a pass on the line of scrimmage into 5, maybe even into 10. But once again, as you can see, the clock is moving just as steadily as both of these offenses are.
Yeah, absolutely. The clock is really the biggest tell in this one of who will come out on top. And that one is only a gain of 1 because at this point, these games are so even. It almost feels like who's going to get the last score.
Yeah, it really does feel like whoever gets the football last is going to be the victorious one here. But then again, right, it could also be whoever gives it up last, too.
I form here for the Lycans. You'll see some motion. That's LZ Pryor making their way to the top of the formation. But you see Rick Evans follow. Probably going to be a man look. They bring pressure. Sean Parrott forces a fumble, and Detroit recovers it. That is Thomas Matthews who scoops it up on Sean Parrott's 2nd of the game.
It was in the city, so everybody went to fall on it. But as it came down, and I initially thought that Los Angeles Lycans, I thought he initially picked it up.
I think that's going to get called back, Jesse. At another look at it on the replay, showing it, that it certainly looked like his arm was coming forward. Hate to be the bearer of bad news to all the Detroit fans in chat. But of course, I'm not a ref. I don't get paid to do that. Let's see another look at it. Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that arm was coming forward.
I think so. I think that'll get called back. And the streets of Detroit will fill with angry people. And it does. Overturned.
Are you saying that they're going to lose themselves in the moment?
They just might. And I'll tell you what, Jesse, there are no Boston referees in the vicinity tonight. We've had 2 great close calls, and I'm loving it. Some fantastic referee play tonight. Got to shout them out when they do well.
Absolutely. And always make sure that when you're a referee, you always leave on the winning side of the stadium.
That's right. Going to see quads here for Los Angeles. They still have the ball. They'll have another chance. Sully fires, catches over the middle. Inside the hash marks is Chris Lee.
Miss Lee and LZ Pryor are getting in a competition here. It's just like that movie where they keep, all right, that's another 20 for me. Another 20 for me. Oh, still counts as 1. That's what they're doing right now. They are in an absolute receiver yards off right now, and we're all having a lot of fun watching it.
Absolutely an offensive explosion through the air for the LA Lycans, as they've been running the ball some too. Ace Ketchum gains 5 before he's brought down by a gaggle of Detroit Maulers.
You know, and they're owning the first level right now here in LA, and like you said, it's a mirror so far. This offensive line is pushing really, really well, and it's so rare to see a game where both offensive lines are truly dominating at the same time.
Hand off to the left-hand side. Iniguez finds some space. Gets brought down just a yard short of the sticks.
Yeah, that was a really good tackle there, too, to patrol that line of scrimmage. But, you know, if you keep getting 6 at a time, 3 at a time, the law of averages, you're just going to find the end zone eventually, especially now that LA's outside of field goal range.
That's right. So you hand off
that
up
was
the
huge.
Middle and fights for it. Ace Ketchum will be awarded the first down for now. Whether it was before the hit or after, maybe we'll see a challenge.
That's what I was expecting.
Detroit will challenge the spot of the ball. Take another look at it, Jesse.
I can see why, you know, Casper throws it, but it looked like Ketchum drove him enough to roll over the top of it, because he doesn't actually hit the ground.
Okay, let's see.
Let's see.
No knee. I think that's a first, Jesse.
Yeah.
The ball, oh, wait a minute. The ball might have been behind it. Overturned. Detroit won the challenge. Wow, great spotting by the referee on the recall. I mean, that ball was millimeters away from being over the line.
Hey, you know, the cases are real and the rulings are final. But that was huge for this game to hold LA to a field goal attempt.
John Smith has only missed 1 on the season, has the longest kick this whole entire season. This one not quite as long, but it's still as good. 3 points awarded for John Smith, his 14th make field goal on the season. To be awarded to him there. Just narrowly slipping in the left side of the goal post as they take a 3-point ball lead.
You know, once I said he has only missed 1, I was just clutching my pearls. I'm like, no, please don't let the curse overtake him.
It happens to the best of us. If it hasn't got you yet, it will.
Oh, it's gotten me plenty of times.
You know, it's like a ritual. If it hasn't, you're not a real broadcaster. Sorry to say.
Right. You have to say, like, oh, I really hope that, you know, he doesn't get injured on this play and throw an interception, and then there's an interception and an injury to the quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
And here we go. Detroit now has the football, and this is so crucial here, DJ.
Yeah, sure is. This feels like a drive that could spell to the rest of this ball game. LA now has a lead at home. Detroit got to fight for some leeway here. Run to the right side. Gibson looking for space. Meets a Lycan just a yard past the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, he tries to get inside and couldn't get much more than that. You know, Greg Ward, the 7-season veteran, the 5-season LA Lycan, just absolutely comes in there and just, you know, with all 230 pounds of his frame, fills that gap.
Yeah, LA, a very solid linebacking core, very underrated in my opinion. As we see some motion here, that's Mike Scott lining up. Ethan Flowers, pressures there, breaks off a sack, pumps, and attacks over the middle. What a throw. What a way to stay alive. Jesse, they call him the magician for a reason, and he pulled a huge play out of his hat there with Jimmy Wynn's help.
Watch me as I go Houdini, catches it one-handed right into the gap. And that was just so, you know, they get to these quarterbacks, and then these quarterbacks just shift and get away. And every time they get away, you see something happen like that.
Yeah, we're seeing a lot of missed sacks tonight, especially as time ticks away in the third. Flowers will snap it. Gibson catches it at 4 yards past the line of scrimmage. At the time will tick away. Folks, LA holds a 3-point lead over the Detroit Maulers. Don't go anywhere. We still have a whole another 10 minutes of football. We'll be back. And welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. I'm DJ Kilgannon. With me in the booth is Jesse Fretz, my friend and colleague. Cameron Irvine back at SFL HQ, making all of this possible. Ron Haynes and Stephen Hackert making us seem smart up here. As Gibson will get that on the handoff to the left. He has some space and eventually gets wrangled down by a pair of Lycans after what was a very successful run.
Andrew Gibson, the offensive line opens the first level, blocking the second, and once he sees daylight, he just turns on another. Look at that move that he uses to just skirt around Earl Fields the fourth. Just guns it right through for a giant gain. 12 carries and 56 yards. What a great day on the ground for Gibson.
Certainly. High form here for Detroit, just outside the 30. Flowers will pass. Plenty of time, and the curl route is connected with. It's Robert Henson Jr.
Good job on the curl route there, because on the curl route, it's all about the break. Just coming at the right time. It's initially a block and chip off, come to the back. And then, Ethan Flowers sees him out there. If I see Robert Henson Jr. out there, I'm going to throw the ball into those hands.
For sure. Some big old mitts. Had the nice one-handed catch earlier, and then that one. Flowers again will throw. Oh, he sees a space up the middle, and he gets wrangled down, and he is injured. Yep, he is injured. I knew something looked off as he went down. And number 5 is on the field writhing in pain. Oh, you hate to see it.
Yeah, now it's going to be up to non-contract player Jeff Blake to come in and finish this game off.
The mirror is still showing 265 to 264, hoping Mr. Blake can continue to get yards now for Detroit. Offset eye look here for them. Looks like some pressure coming from his blind side. Gibson will get the ball, gets a first down, and then some. Who needs to pass when you've got a rushing attack this successful?
Good call there by Casper. He says, you know what? He's expecting an all-out blitz. That they're going to attack. Look at that. Boom. Great block there. Nice seal. He's expecting an all-out blitz. Boom. That's why you do. That's why we love those fullbacks.
That's
and
right.
he knew that blitz was coming, so he called the run play.
Fantastic play calling. Now, Jeff Blake hoping to become a hero in Detroit. An overnight name, if you will. A fullback dive up the middle will result in a solid gain, making it an even closer opportunity now. That was Charles Stackhouse on the run. They're bringing in all the backups.
Man, it sure seems that Steakhouse and someone just wrote it in the wrong way and no one ever got around to correcting it.
We'll go Steakhouse.
Well done.
Gibson spins off and dives over. Look at him go. He looks like he's an Olympian hurdler. Gibson is gonna make it 10 rushing touchdowns on the season for him. His second of the ball game.
And when he comes outside, notice how he just hurdles over Adrian Harlow and the defender. Well, they were deciding, what they were going to do at the goal line. Just wow. What an incredible show of athleticism. That's some high jump level stuff. That's a track and field athlete right there.
Just like a whale coming up for air, jumping over that block. 9 plays, 72 yards. We said at the start of that drive. It was an important one, Jesse. That it was. Detroit takes the lead.
And Adrian Harlow is 6'6".
Yeah.
You know how you have to jump to clear that?
6. Well, it would be 6 foot 7 inches.
Yeah, that's dunking a basketball level ups right there.
LC Pryor will get wrangled down at about the 28 as Andrew Gibson will celebrate on the sideline with Casper Haddock after that touchdown. And now if you're Detroit, you need some big plays. You need to stop them. You can't allow LA to have another bounce back drive.
Yeah, field goal is not really the way here. And as Detroit demonstrated that even with their backup quarterback, they're still a very capable offense in the red zone. So you have to score here.
Sully drops back, looks for space, fires to the right side of the formation, looking for something to go, and somehow finds some space, turns it into something when it should have been nothing. Chris Lee looking like he's made of gold.
Sully Richardson comes back just as a nice little slip out, and it looks like it's going to be a trip up. Lee comes back, spins around the outside. The reason that I'm sounding like this whenever I talk about the play is I'm kind of doing what I'm seeing Chris Lee doing out there. What a whirling dervish. I mean, just moves like Jagger out there.
Yeah, I mean, he gained probably maybe 17, 20 there, but it looks like he should have gained 40 with how much he ran. Sully to pass again, trying to find the hitch route to the left side of the formation. Gonna fall incomplete, just a little bit too low on the throw.
Yeah, it would have been a hard one to make, even if you only get 4 yards out of it. But still, good effort on the play by the receiver. God, this game changed.
It sure did. Such an exciting one, and these similarities continue to show. A run up the middle is only a gain of 1, a big hit there. Matthias Citrion continues to live in the middle of this defense.
Well, at that point, it's like the sci-fi movie where they walk by the black cat, deja vu. Every time they go up the middle of the field, there's Citrion to just annihilate the ball carrier. Now it's 3rd and 9 again.
Sure is. Looks like a bunch to the top of your screen. Single back, Sully surveys, fires, and it's batted down. That was the aforementioned Matthias Citrion getting his 3rd pass deflection of the ball game.
And there he goes again. This is the kind of play that you need, and that was a ball game defining type of play. This puts Detroit in the position to score, and another score here is going to look a lot bigger in the final story than just another 11-point lead.
Absolutely, this Detroit defense reminding me of sweet and sour as the Mad Lemon getting involved consistently to make their defense work wonders. Jeff Blake takes the field again after leading in quotations, a successful end to that drive for Detroit. He drops back. He tries to find some space in the middle and gets clobbered. No room to run for him. Brought down by Earl Fields IV.
Earl Fields IV says that the magic show is over, kids. He's definitely not able to escape like Ethan Flowers does, and this could be an absolute detriment to Detroit coming up if they can continue to apply this kind of pressure.
They're missing 5 out there. Blake drops back, connects over the middle. Call it inches as Rob Hunt pulls that one in. Doesn't matter who the QB is out there, Rob Hunt is going to get his.
Just another catch by Bubba Tree and another crucial catch at the same time. You know, if you can give even a backup on contract guy in the SFL enough time to throw and you give them playmakers like Detroit has, they will come up with completions.
They sure will. Inches now. He just needs to lean it over the line. Let's see what they do. They'll hand it off to the left side. Gibson gets enough. Not much, but enough.
Now, isn't there something about how, you know, like if you take a yardstick at Home Depot and you realize how much pain one has to go through to get just that 1 yardstick of turf here in the SFL. 2 scores, 72 yards and 15 carries. Love the toughness.
I've always been an ace hard worker myself. iPhone here for Jeff Blake. Will he be the hero of Detroit? Drops back again. Fires it to the right, and it's caught! Rob Hunt once again pulling in another pass.
What I love about this league is that there's players that come into a game at the right time. Second reception of the drive by Bubba Tree. Mostly silent throughout this contest, but he is showing up when his team needs him the most in this ball game.
Absolutely is. Jeff Blake drops back. Again connects. Jimmy Wint. Jeff Blake looking like an all-star right now.
Man, that was Rob Hunt there on the catch. I am just so... This is just such a thrill ride, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, dude. Jimmy Wint with another catch. It's time. The hero lies in you.
Let's see if he'll remain. Fires that one to the flat. Harleman tries to make something work out, but he won't. It's going to be no gain as Detroit continues to push down the field.
Wow, a backup master class. The chat said it, and the chat is right. So far, so good.
We got Jeff Blake from the Cheesecake Factory roster a few nights ago. Played in practice. That one gets batted down. They can't all be caught. Jimmy Wint attempted it. Not a bad spot. Just a nice play by the defensive back.
That was a huge hit right there, and you got to stick them all the way through. Now with Detroit being 3rd and 10, and they're definitely most likely going to be throwing the ball here. There it is. They're showing that formation right now.
Jeff Blake will survey. Dime look. They bring an extra. He doesn't have any time. Selwyn Lane able to pull him down for the sack.
And that is what you need. What's the old expression? You can't afford to take a sack. And this one is not on the quarterback here. He comes right off the tackle, and he's got no shot.
He got a punt. Jeff shake and bake Blake can only do so much.
Yeah, and Rob Hunt and Jimmy Wint with a combined 176 yards between them. Rob Hunt had 2 crucial catches on that drive. And now they're going to sit there, and their defense is going to have to do their job and get this football back. Remember, they still have the lead, right? Detroit is the winning team here right now. This defense has to show that they can take control of it and win this football game right here.
Great punt from Macmillan. We'll see a delayed handoff. It'll result in a gain of 1. Darius Iniguez gets wrapped up by Jubilee Marsh.
Jubilee Marsh, 9th tackle on this contest. 9th. Marsuti's got 7. Citrion's got 7. This run support machine has been doing a very good job despite the numbers.
They sure have. They'll turn offset eye the other way. As they will pass. Sully fires over the middle, connecting with Bubba Tree.
You can't do this right now. You can't let them have the big plays that keep taking time off the clock, because LA's got to score a touchdown here. And that's not a bad thing, because it's just they can take their time here with these big chunk plays. 13 for 24, 221. He's only been sacked once.
Sully really showing up. And not, Detroit not playing their best pass rush football. We certainly see them get more. Not really playing their style right now. We'll see a run up the middle. Darius Iniguez gains 9 before he's pulled down.
And that's the beauty of this playbook that Sully has brought, this game plan that Sully has brought into this game, because he's keeping it wide open. Big plays, 9 yards at a time, 15, 20 here.
Yep.
Not playing conservative.
Certainly not. Run to the outside is Ketchum, who fights past a tackler, and they'll call that a first down. Very questionable call to me. Looks like some home cooking. But if we don't see a challenge, nothing will come of it. We don't.
Casper Haddock doesn't look like he's going to sling it out there.
They'll believe him. Looks like they have time. They will snap it before the 2-minute mark. Darius Iniguez gets wrapped up as the 2-minute mark hits. The Mad Lemon pulling him down. Folks, we have 2 more minutes of football. A 4-point ball game as Detroit leads LA 21-17. Don't go anywhere. This one's just heating up. Welcome back, folks. I'm DJ Kilgannon, joined in the booth by Jesse Fretz, Cameron Irvine back at the HQ, making everything possible. Ron Haynes and Stephen Hacker in the stats truck doing their thing. Sully Richardson fires it to the out route, and he steps out of bounds. They will give them forward progress, but not able to stay in for more.
You know, if there's a form of football played in Canada, and if this was a Canadian field, probably would have done a lot more dancing on that catch, LZ Pryor, but just ran out of real estate on that sideline.
Certainly did, nearing the 50-yard mark. Splits back here, result in a delayed handoff. Darius Iniguez finds some space, and they'll call it inches. Chris Delro bringing him down just before he crossed the first down marker.
If it's a challenge, it's going to come from the booth.
What? They're punting. It's got to be a fake.
No, they haven't punted it yet.
There's no way. They will fake it. LA drops back. It's dropped. No. Oh my goodness. Devontae Moore on the attempted catch. And it's dropped. That's why he's on the defense.
Oh.
All you needed was an inch, and your run game's been so good. Oh,
yeah.
Man.
And then you lose the fake, right?
Oh, man.
If everybody knows the rabbit's coming out of the hat, it's not a trick anymore, right?
Yeah. I mean, it was out. They showed their cards. Hand off to Gibson. Will churn away some more clock. That's a 3-yard game and LA's first timeout.
Yeah, well, if they can truly shut this down right here, use up all those timeouts, they can get the ball back and pull off. It's not unreasonable to go down the field with, 30 seconds and no timeouts. We've seen it before.
Sure have crazier things. Looks like another heavy look. You know what they want to do. They'll run it right up the middle to no avail. Terrell Sutherland brought down, maybe gained half a yard. LA's second timeout will come out of the pocket. Now, Jesse, I'm curious, do you throw here or do you run?
No,
what do you think?
I'm going to run it here, and the reason why is because it's going to burn their final timeout. They're going to punt it, and I'm going to trust my defense to win me the football game.
Yep, and you don't have number 5 under center. That's something to keep in the back of your mind.
Right, what if he throws a pick?
Yep, exactly. They'll kick out Terrell Sutherland. One back in the backfield. Handed off to the left-hand side. Gibson gets the first down. Game, set, checkmate. Detroit gains it after the missed fake punt for the Los Angeles Lycans. What a heartbreak in LA. Oh, man.
God, it really is. When you look at this game from a fantasy perspective, like if you had any of these players in your fantasy team, you were like jumping for joy tonight. They probably won you your game. I mean, Rob Hunt, 88 yards. Jimmy Witt, 88 yards. Parrish had a score. Other side of the ball. 106 yards for Chris Lee. 79 for LZ Pryor. But it just came down to a gentleman who's not going to be paying for dinner in Detroit anytime soon.
Yeah.
One Jeff Blake.
Jeff Shake and Bake Blake. Remember the name.
That's right.
They got him from the Cheesecake Factory the night before. They said, you know what? You look like, actually, they went to that restaurant. You know where they throw the rolls across the restaurant?
Yeah, I love that. Yeah.
Casper Haddock was at one, and he got a bullet of a roll thrown at his head, and he was like, oh, my goodness.
He's probably going to start getting paychecks thrown from that restaurant his way, too. Yeah.
And
Detroit, man.
Time ticking away is... I think that's all. I think that'll be our final kneel down of the game. Is a devastating loss for the Lycans. You can see the total yardage at the top, 339 to 323. Man, such a close ball game between the two, and that'll be all, folks. A 4-point win for the Detroit Maulers pushes them to a 6-5 record overall. The Los Angeles Lycans will fall to 2-8. Jesse, this one was a whirlwind and a half, my friend. Give me your breakdown and maybe someone that you're going to toss your game ball to.
Oh, there's so many people to give a game ball to on this one. You know what? But when it comes to game balls, I think I'd have to give one to Andrew Gibson.
Yeah.
I mean, 86 yards, 2 scores. When you have such a dominant passing game, it allows you to really open up every other facet of your game. And also, hats off to Brandon Casper for making a game plan that was able to still be effective, Casper Haddock to still be effective and win the football game, despite having a backup quarterback, a non-contract guy, for the win, for the final score that you needed to ended up controlling the ball, winning the game, and not making mistakes.
Yeah, Matthias Citron will go mine. Didn't jump off the stat sheet, but he was all over the place.
It was actually a metal chopstick, by the way. It was a metal chopstick.
Detroit will take the win 21-17 over the Lycans. Heartbreak in California. Ladies and gentlemen, this has been the SFL on the Virtual Football Network. All of you have a beautiful night.